Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining the VERITAS SaaS Backup for Office 365 with CHASSasia and VERITAS. First of all, I'd like to show my appreciation to CHASSasia for hosting and inviting all of you to this sharing webinar. Thank you, CHASSasia. My name is Johnny Low. I'm your presenter today. I lead the channel and commercial business in VERITAS Singapore. So with me, I got T-Way, my commercial sales manager, my VTSS, Virtual Technical Services Solution team, and my distributor, Ingram Micro, in this webinar. So if you have any queries, please input your questions in the chat box. They will be observing and replying on behalf. Else we can do the webinar Q&A at the end of the session. So this is a short and sweet webinar and getting a message across if your Microsoft 365 is backed up properly. If not, why do customers need? And an introduction on what's the strategy from VERITAS to protect Microsoft 365. So without further ado, I will start the presentation. Thank you. Microsoft and VERITAS had a couple of decades long of alliance partnership together. They are our key strategic partner, which our breadth of VERITAS solutions support their platform services from on-premise to Azure Cloud, Azure SaaS, and Microsoft 365. So dear customers, bear in mind in this section, my role is not to be biased or bash on what Microsoft doesn't have, but to share the features beyond Microsoft 365 and how technology alliance like us, VERITAS, complement to add value to their services to our joint customers. So digital transformation is driving new services, and definitely SaaS, software as a service, is part of that services. SaaS is adopting rapidly for all verticals and transforming the growth and go-to-market of business application. Example for Microsoft 365, Microsoft is predicting 220 million seats to this year, 2020. So let's think about it. This huge number is a big change of how business data is changing and moving, and especially that's from on-premise to cloud. And when customers move from on-premise to cloud, like to Microsoft 365, there are journeys happening, two different types of journeys. One, the journey is protected, shared, which most of everyone of us want to, or it's a risky journey. But why on earth does customers want to embark a risky journey? It is because certain customers don't understand that even you have empowered cloud applications within your business model, the data is still within your control and responsibility. Secondly, if you want to make use of the native features offered by Microsoft or other SaaS application providers, you need to understand if they are sufficient enough. So, the remainder of the webinar, I want to elaborate further. Do we need to protect SaaS application, and why do we need to do so? Firstly, why do you need to back up SaaS application? Please bear in mind, Microsoft 365 do not guarantee any user or data information. Their service level agreement has stated clearly that they are to guarantee infrastructure and uptime capability, which is to ensure power, cooling, network in their infrastructure. That means Microsoft's main job is to focus on the service availability, to recover from a hardware failure, etc. But they are not assuring about data availability, which you as a customer want. Secondly, data protection feature is built in 365. Is that true? No, not really. What Microsoft 365 offers is a native rollback feature with limited retention capabilities. And bear in mind, Microsoft 365 doesn't offer a second copy of your data. I will actually go back to the later slide later to explain and discuss further with you about second copy of data. So, and Imagine a scenario where you could want to request a copy of your email data from Microsoft, like what we call a manual ad hoc retrieval request. There's no SLA from Microsoft to assure you that when will they respond to you. That means that if you have that retrieval request from Microsoft, it may take days and weeks. This brings to a poor user experience, which no customers like you will definitely enjoy. Lastly, SaaS applications are immune to ransomware or malware attack. This is very untrue again. Even the servers are not within your own data center. They are still lying across within Microsoft data center infrastructure. And most important, that your data is sitting within their data centers. And think about it, what happens if they face a ransomware attack? Do you have that second copy of data within your own control? So if you look at this slide, I'm not too sure where any one of you have seen or heard about this Section 1B of Microsoft Online Subscription Agreement. It actually states that you are solely responsible of all the content of your own customer data. Microsoft does not and will not resume any obligation with respect to customer data. I think this statement has bring up clearly. Microsoft didn't lie, they didn't hide. They have actually encouraged customers to hold responsibility and be educated with your own data. And if you look at the diagram on the right, this is what we call the shared responsibility model in the cloud, which means that there are few criteria of responsibility that either a customer or a cloud provider should take care, and who is responsible for which category. Example, you as a customer, you definitely need to be accountable, like the one that we highlight on the top row, data classification and accountability. An example like host infrastructure or physical security in a SaaS application model, it's definitely 100% belongs to Microsoft, the cloud provider. Next, let's talk about responsibility. We need to understand your role as an end customer and the role of Microsoft as a service provider. Usually the confusion of a customer is you will perceive service providers like Microsoft will manage and be responsible for anything related to the service that you are subscribing. And that's including backup of your own data. So when you talk about backup of the data, the word backup in VERITAS as a market leader is referring to a copy of our original data is made and stored in a secondary location. That means if original data is lost for any reason, you as a customer could access a secondary copy from somewhere else. And that's what true backup is. We'll discuss later on this concept. But from Microsoft's perspective, their role is to protect against hardware failure, any type of infrastructure crash or power outage, which is what we are sitting on the left, like network, hardware, OS, virtualization, and they do a great job in securing their infrastructure. And you as a customer, your responsibility is your user and all of the data. So you probably have heard what I mentioned just now, and to add on to what I've discussed and presented, there are a lot of key technology analysts like the IDC, Forrester, or Gartner who are actually going out to the market to educate customers to back up your own SaaS data. And there are reasons like what I mentioned why you need to do so. So probably you heard from me, Johnny, I'm convinced by SaaS provider that we need to back up our own data, but what should I need at the first place? There are actually three common use cases that we like to educate. Firstly, human error detection. I mean, honestly, to all of us, it's a common problem that we may delete an email, a file, or folder at any time or point of time. And that mistake happens. And sometimes when we don't even realize it. Secondly, employer tampering. We can't avoid this situation from happening because we realize when we see about it. And there's cases of large employee removing or deleting customers' data. before they leave. And when it happens, as a information technology department, do you have a second copy of data when your management requests it? That's about compliance already. The external threats. So you can't deny there will be attacks, malware attacks, security, ransomware. How do you deal with this situation? Just give you a scenario. Imagine a hacker gain access through a backdoor to your Microsoft 365 global admin account. They log in, they log all the user access. Your user can't log into the Microsoft 365 and you're in ransomware. Think about it. The situation happened, you're unable to avoid. But if you have a second copy of your own data, the situation changed a little bit. You are not that impacted as what it should be. Next, moving on to the next section of discussion is about Office 365 19 data protection. You may think, Johnny, okay, I agree. We need to protect our SaaS application, and yes, data protection is essential, but there's data protection from Microsoft 365. Why should I be exploring further? Let me explain to that. First, please say no. Microsoft 365 doesn't make a second copy. When I actually mentioned just now, the term backup refers to making a secondary copy of your original data and storing at a secondary location. That is a standard strategy, 3-2-1. But Microsoft doesn't make a second copy at all. So where is your backup copy? That means they doesn't have the app in the first place. Secondly, Microsoft 365 doesn't keep deleted email for too long. So what happens? What if your employee hasn't deleted an email or file from their Microsoft 365? Can you retrieve it? In Exchange Online, 14 days is the retention default and max 30 days. After 30 days, you will go to Microsoft 365 trash and it's considered permanent delete. How do you, as a user, able to retrieve your own email data at your own capability? Navigation hole is not a practical backup. If all of you are aware, there's actually a feature called legal hold in Microsoft 365 to enable the legal hold is for e-discovery capability. Certain customers have used legal hold as a backup feature, which is definitely wrong. That means that you need to apply legal hold to all your email to avoid it from deletion, and that's definitely not an incorrect practice. Lastly, Microsoft 365 doesn't offer any point-in-time restore. That means, example, we are in 2020. 1 year, maybe 2 years later, 2020. Can you go to Microsoft to help you retrieve an email, particular a time and date in 2020? That's called point-in-time. They do not have that kind of capability to you. Even there's no SLA assurance to you as a customer. So as a customer now, what can you do to protect your own data and making it within your own responsibility and control? I'd like to go to the next section, which is about our solution, VERITAS SaaS Backup. So VERITAS SaaS Backup is a true cloud-to-cloud data protection for Microsoft 365 and a lot of other SaaS application platforms like Dynamics 365, Salesforce, and G Shield. For Microsoft 365, we doesn't just protect and backup Exchange Online. We actually cover the rest of the remaining modules like OneDrive for Business, SharePoint Online, Group and Teams. We can go to individual granular file and email copy of data and allow you to restore granular restoration. The beauty of VERITAS SaaS Backup, VSB in short, is the beauty of its setup as it is a hosted solution. There is no requirement of hardware and software, and you could actually set up and deploy it anytime, anywhere you want. For all the management and policy control, it's actually managed by VERITAS at our back end, and as a customer, you have no operation burden in managing this solution. You just need to use a few minutes of setup or your partner to assist you, and the automated backup up to 2 times a day will immediately happen. So as you see from my last statement on my slide, there's nothing to install and deploy, and all updates are automatic from VERITAS end. So coming to almost the end of my webinar, as I mentioned, SaaS applications are definitely the central and essential for our business productivity, the likes of Microsoft 365 or even G Suite or Salesforce. But they definitely need a stronger data protection strategy to protect your own data and your own control and responsibility. So VERITAS SaaS Backup VSB is definitely tailor-made to protect and back up Microsoft 365. As you see, we can protect emails, calendar, contact, all the way to your SharePoint and group and Teams. The best part to you as a customer is we still offer this solution with unlimited storage and retention. Our selling model and licensing is based on per Microsoft 365 user account per year. And as long as you actually purchase per account basis, we do not cater or charge you based on your storage with us. That means that you can either have 10 terabytes or 100 terabytes of email data. It doesn't matter to VERITAS because we are only licensing and charging you based on per Microsoft 365 per user per account basis. So this is my last slide, almost my last slide. I'd like to elaborate further how our solution actually complement and enhance Microsoft 365 to end off this webinar. Firstly, as I said, a backup means that you need to create a secondary copy of the data and store it in a secondary location. For VERITAS SaaS Backup, we definitely create a second copy on the secondary infrastructure, and that already help you to make a backup copy. Secondly, for deletion of email, we help you to set unlimited retention policy, which you can be assured that your email and data will be at your control and restoration ability at any time you want. Lastly, this solution is purpose-built for backup and recovery and not just retention. Lastly, because of unlimited retention, you can actually use advanced search to find out a particular email or file anytime, anywhere you want, and restore point in time. And this is at our own facility control at a single pane of glass of GUI. So that's all from my webinar. Thanks for making time to attend, and feel free to engage me. This will be my contact details. Drop me a mail or give me a phone call if you need to hear or inquire further about VERITAS SaaS Backup to assist you in protecting your Microsoft 365. Thank you.